All right, so you've been able to explore the data set a little bit, look at different columns, look at the first few rows, look at different data tables. But now maybe you want to get a count or see how many distinct rows there are or see how many missing values there are and things like that. So we can do that in SQL very easily. Right? So looking here, we'll just construct our query to first, for example, get a count of the number of rows there are in a data table. Right, so again, we start with select, and then we use count. Right, and then here I'm going to put star. And again, remember star is that wildcard character for all columns. Right, so what this is going to give us is the count of all of how many rows. Right, so basically, if I do count from, and again, let's do the table that we did before, the workplace area characteristics. I'm going to put in this limit 1000. And you'll notice that this count, it's only going to give us one row, the count. But I still put that limit just to have it as a habit. Okay. And this gives us 243,000 rows, right? But one thing that we might be missing is that, for example, if a certain variable has null values, this count will still count those rows. And so maybe you want to know how many rows are there that don't contain null values for a certain variable. Right, so I'm going to use this W geocode, and that's just the geocode for that workplace. Right, and the number is the exact same. And that's good. It kind of tells us that there's no null values for W geocode. Right, but what if there are kind of repeated values? For this, you want each census block to be distinct from each other. You don't want duplicates of rows because that probably means there's duplicated data or there's just some issue with the data itself. So in order to do that, we can look at, for example, distinct. Right, so this distinct just tells us, just give us the distinct values, and basically if there's multiple of the same one, it just chooses the first one. And so it is going to go through and make sure it gives us only the distinct values. Now notice that this isn't giving us a count, this is just giving us each of the values where the WGO code is distinct. And notice that we had this limit 1000, so it's going to only give us 1000. I can kind of scroll down over here, kind of look at them. But it's a good thing I had 1000, or else it would try to print out the 240,000 rows. But we can actually do is we can do this count around distinct, right? And let's try that. And might take a little bit of time to run, but hopefully it should give us that same number that we got earlier. Yeah, exactly, 243,000. So what this is telling me is that the number of distinct WGO code values is the same as the number of rows, which is exactly what we want. And so this is something that's really good to check. This might not be true for all of the columns, which, for example, total number of jobs. You expect some census blocks to have the same number of jobs as each other. So let me see. And there are about 2,434 different numbers of jobs. And so this is, what we might expect. There can't be that much variation in the total number of jobs.